Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another quick peek by yours truly, James, and my co-partner here this afternoon, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Not much. It's Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. So
I see you've got nothing in your backboard here as like a little mantra or code.
no, it's not our main show, so I have no words of wisdom for you
Oh
there.
my God! Stop it! Stop it! Speaking of stop it, season 3 of Titans. I think
Yes,
we want to give a quick peek on that show, which just ended. I'm forgetting whether it was this week or last week. The last episode.
last week.
I caught it this week, but it probably aired last week.
Yeah, let me
So,
start by saying very impressed with this season compared to last season. So
ooh, buddy.
you don't think so?
I'm with you halfway.
All right.
I remembered after I watched the first 3 episodes, I think I was texting you saying, "Wow, this is definitely better than last season."
Mm-hmm.
And it was going on that path for me that it was going to be probably the best season of the show so far. And I know they got a season 4 already on deck or greenlit.
Yeah.
However, the last couple episodes took some weird dives that I just couldn't wrap my head around. I felt like maybe there was a different director, different creative showrunner doing the second half of the season versus the first half of the season.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, there were certain things I was like, meh, but I did like.
We're going to spoil it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Ron.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Is this not why you are here?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Knock that shit off.
Oh yeah, I'll throw spoiler stuff on, but I did like the Lazarus Pit stuff. Bringing back some of the characters. I like the whole Hank.
You like the Lazarus Pit part? Oh my God! Before we
You don't
get
like it?
there, because that's
Yeah.
near the part that I did like of the show.
Okay.
I think my favorite parts of the show is the first arc where it had to do with the hood,
Right.
the Red Hood, right?
Yeah. So let's let people know real quick. This season we introduced Red Hood, who is Jason, who used to be Robin, but now he turned evil and he's Red Hood. But he's being manipulated by Scarecrow, and most of you should know Scarecrow.
Correct.
If you're fans of ours, hopefully you know who Scarecrow in the DC world is.
Correct.
If not,
When Mike
go to
said
Google.
manipulate, he means causing murder, death of not only civilians and crime bosses alike, but also Titan. Titan was lost this season.
Right.
You know, Hawk, through some machinations of the Hood, formerly Robin. So that portion of that show, to me, Mike, I really loved how they portrayed it, how everything was acted, the story. I love that. What about you?
The only thing I didn't like about that was kind of Batman said, "Man, I'm out of here," and didn't come back. Like after all the shit was going down in Gotham.
I didn't say it was perfect. I did not say it was perfect. Him killing the
No.
Joker as a rebuttal after all of these years of everything he's seen and done, supposedly, that part didn't make sense. But that's
Right.
still compared to the second half of the series.
Yeah, so the second half kind of got all like the first half was well grounded, and then the whole thing when they reintroduced Rachel, who I love Rachel this season, by the way. She came onto her own. She started to figure out how to control her powers. She basically kicked ass this season, right? So they introduced that. Then they went into like the Nether realm when Diana died. Not Diana.
Donna Troy.
Donna. When Donna died and Hawk was in the afterworld and all that stuff.
Yep.
Tim had died, so they were bringing Tim back to the real world, and Donna showed up as well. So I thought that was all cool. It was a little out there, but I see you didn't like it, but I thought it was all right.
You mentioned, so we all agree we liked the first arc of the show, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
it was gonna be probably the best season up until that moment in the show when you talked about the Lazarus Pits earlier. You talked about the Netherrealm. But the quick thing about the Lazarus Pits, and I've seen since the Batman animated series in the late '80s and early '90s, since the comic book in the mid '90s. And some of the DC animated movies with Batman Family.
Right.
They kind of give you enough to understand how the Lazarus Pits work. But when this show decided not only to use it to revive Robin, then later on revive Nightwing, but they use it as an aerosol method to revive the entire Gotham City of
Yeah,
folks
that
that
was
are
kind of.
dead.
Yeah, that one I kind of went, oh, so we're just gonna rain
Really?
it down on people. I know, but I
It
don't know. I
didn't.
the thing is, when you look at it, like, how else would they have cured the city? I don't know. That's the thing. I couldn't. I
See,
don't know
it's
how
like
to come up with
just
another.
write this heavy, intensive plot to get you so engaged. Oh my God, there's so much stakes in here. Wow, people are dying, but
Right.
they back themselves in a corner and they're like, oh shit, we need a Dos Ex Machina. Guess what? The Lazarus Pits, super spread gun that bad boy.
It
To
was
me,
cool when the lightning started coming and Donna was like, "I got this," and then she threw the rope up.
she did.
Yeah.
Wait, what about our boy Beast, who we really didn't talk about yet, who had the power to not only call up the nearby local bats there in Gotham, but
Hmm.
also turn into a super bat, an uber bat.
Yeah, I like. You know why I like that? Because I like I said, I'm cool with characters realizing new powers and learning about their existing powers, and I like that he's coming onto his own as well. Becoming that huge bat was cool. I
Yeah.
want to see what else he can do next season, right? Like, I feel some of them are underused. Like, we had this whole Starfire and her sister subplot, and that
Yes.
kind of went "Ew," and fizzled out real quick. Except when Superboy was involved, because he wanted to be all stalkerish and be like, "You ain't
All of
leaving
a
me,
sudden, the
babe."
whole romance got involved between the two
Right?
sisters,
Yeah. And then he blew up their ship, and he was like, "You're never leaving me." So
which is another subplot okay, so again, spoiler alert, there's a lot of subplots in the second half of the season because,
yeah,
the first arc really had to do with Robin, Nightwing, and Batman. And then the Titans kind of like secondary characters, what's happening. You introduce Crow, Scarecrow. Then the second half, it was like an episode of Lost where there's five different stories happening, but not written as well as a Lost episode. Because
right.
I was baffled between what was happening with the sisters,
Yeah,
Superboy and Crypto, who had more he had more to do this season than he did last season.
yeah,
Then hold on, the one of the main villains we had, Scarecrow going through his own personal arc as a villain,
yeah.
where he
That
got
part kind of
upset.
confused me. I was
He
like,
got
"Wait,
upset
what's
that Bruce
happening?"
Wayne didn't put him as a level 1 tier villain, so he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna murder my Uber delivery DoorDash guy to
Yeah.
show Batman." And
And
I'm
then the
like,
next thing I knew,
"What?"
he had scars all over his face, and I was like, "What the hell?"
It was a whole episode devoted to that.
I know, very
And
strange.
then hold on, Barbara Gordon, who was introduced also in this
Yeah,
this season,
I
who I
like the
thought was a
actress, and
great casting.
I like her, by the way. Yeah,
I do too. I had to look up what else she did outside of the show. I didn't realize that she actually is amputee. She's an amputee
yeah. I realized it.
after a
You
couple of
told me,
years.
yeah, because I had
Yeah,
seen some pictures with her with two legs, and I was like, "Oh, she's just pretending." And then you
yeah.
showed me. I read what
Yeah. But
happened on
like
Wikipedia.
CGI is great because they're showing her so many different angles.
Yeah,
Then I looked it up. So shout
yeah,
out to her, by the way, the actress. She did really
right.
good. But I felt like they used her character as a wedge between Bruce and Batman early on during the Robin. Then
Yeah,
then all of a sudden it became like her own little issues with Gotham City PD.
yeah,
With somehow some of the police officers, you know, went on strike and joined the bad guys with Red Hood and Scarecrow,
you're
and all
right.
of a sudden we're showing up at the Batcave because now everybody knows that. That's another issue that I had. Now Batman's secret is basically everybody knows about Batman's secret.
Yeah,
So you had that plot device, and then let's not forget we still have you mentioned Rachel and her going to the Nether realm, where it felt like an episode of Supernatural and CW.
right.
With Dean going to hell and Sam trying to rescue. I was like, oh my god, been there, done that. Watch this. Like, what are we doing? DC
Yeah.
Titans, what are we doing?
Yeah, I
So my
know. Like, I know they touch, like, when they do DC Dark, right, with Rachel and Constantine and stuff. Like, they touch upon all of this. So maybe they're gonna do that here and go into a dark. I don't know. I have no idea what they're gonna do with Rachel, but
No. If you had told me by end of episode 4 that this is where they were heading, I would have been like, high fiving you. Let's go. But
yeah,
after seeing the finale, I don't. I think, see what you said. Then they're not sure what they're doing, and they
yeah,
got greenlit for season 4 even before season 3 ended. So I guess the showrunners and the DC executives have a huge vote of confidence from seeing early reactions. And listen, I'm not saying it was a doo doo show. I'm just saying like it led me to expectations from the first couple episodes where I felt like this was probably going to be the best DC TV show I've seen, since Arrow season 4 or Flash season 2.
Right.
And it's a huge letdown. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so you sound a little disappointed. I think I was less disappointed. I think compared to maybe last season, the season 2, right? So overall, I think I'll give this season like a B minus. What about you?
Um, I think I'm gonna give it a C plus.
Okay.
I thought about B minus as well, but just that finale was like the nail in the coffin for me. Um, Even like the little epilogue that they had after everything was done, and each character had their own little mission. Donna's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see Dove in Paris." And I'm like, "Wait,
Right.
what? We totally forgot about Dove because she lost the love of her life, and
That's
we
the one
never
thing I was
saw her
mad
again
about. Yeah, I was like, oh man,
until
give me
we
more
throw a
Dove.
little line. Yeah, I'm gonna go see her in Paris. Like, what the fuck is she doing in Paris?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna give it a C plus. One quick thing,
hmm
because this is a quick peek. Where do you like? Where would you like to see season 4 take us to?
Man, I don't know. I think they need to get out of Gotham again. Like the Gotham was okay, but let's go back to San Francisco and let's deal with something there. I want to see. I want them to bring more Rachel in again. Um, I don't know. In terms of bad guys, I really don't know who's up. Like who can
That's
we?
what I was gonna say. I agree with you. I definitely want them out of Gotham. They
hmm
may not have to. They may not have to go back to San Francisco, but wherever it is, I do want them to interact with another team of villains. And
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with the Titans storyline, the Teen Titans storyline in the
Same.
comics. I
Right.
know my son is, but there are groups of baddies that could team up and give them like a better antagonist than what we got in season 3 and season 2. Trigon was another terrible
Yeah.
pick, but I knew it had to do with Rachel's development. So yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this little quick peek of Titans season 3. Feel free to give it a watch yourself and come back. Say, hey, you guys are way off. This is the greatest show ever, or man, this is a D for doo doo.
Yeah.
Let
Let
us
us know
know
what
in
you
the
think in
comments.
the comments. Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. And we will see you next time.